That was just beautiful, gorgeous. That sounded very like from a hymn from a church or something. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is a beautiful theme called Finlandia, written by Jan Sibelius. And what I did is just a spontaneous exploration based on his idea.
I see. The chord, you started with chord melody. Could you talk about your approach to that?
Yeah, usually I just first look at the melody, you know. And then I find chords that I like that are somewhat true to what the composer wanted because of the limitations of the instrument and the limitations of my own imagination. So that's the B chord, you know, back to the E.
Okay.
And then an F sharp minor, as opposed to what Sibelius did when he went back to the B. But that chord doesn't voice properly in the bass, so I just went. And then this part, you know, which is an E chord with the B in the bass, then, you know, A chord, then different, like an F sharp minor with A in the bass, an inversion, then you have the back to a G sharp, triad, major triad, which at that point the song modulates, and then just out of nowhere comes from the G sharp major to an E major, which creates a richness that's really fabulous.
So that's really interesting. As a bass player, you're not limiting yourself to putting the root on the bottom of all those chords.
Exactly.
Which makes it...
Yeah, it's important for bass players to think a lot about inversions because the bass, all the chords are named from the bass. So that depending on what you play on the bass, you change the name of the chord, and many of your friends might not like the names that you give to the chords that they intended.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's important to take advantage of that beauty of the, you know, the root, the third, and the fifth.
And you take full advantage of open strings too.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, especially when you do something that isn't keys where you have open strings. Sometimes it works to have a different root on an open string, you know, the fifth or the third, but we need to be careful that it doesn't get too low because it gets muddy. Like bass players love to play thirds, you know. That's a D chord, no? The F sharp, you know. And then you go from the F sharp third to the G chord with a G in the bass. But if you do that like down a fourth, you know, with an A, you know, it can be very, very muddy.
Right.
So that if the orchestration is not accommodating to our idea, there's no shame in giving it up. Or the producers will say, that's a great idea, use it on your own solo album.
Right. You have to be careful about your choices.
Yeah, a lot of what I'm talking about is from the perspective of recording. Then many times the things that we discover in the studio do apply in live performances also. So if not the producer, the band leader might say that he doesn't like it. Or if you have really a band in which you are in charge, then try to make sure that the things that you do that traditionally don't work, to see between all of the members of the band together can make them work, to keep furthering the things that we couldn't do before that now are possible.